I see the home run for Julian have arrived. I can see John Shipton at the back here. Inmate Julian Assange, our mate, free, 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 only one decision, there is only one decision, inmate Julian Assange, our mate. We have 226 federal parliamentarians, and out of that 226, we have 24 that belong to the Friends of Bring Julian Assange Home group. I'd also like to mention that the Leader of the Opposition, Anthony Albanese, recently came out in a caucus meeting and said, enough is enough. And that's exactly my sentiment. Enough is enough. Also, Mark Dreyfus, the Shadow Attorney General, has joined him in condemning what is happening to Julian. It serves no purpose other than to intimidate those who wish to exercise their free speech right. There's also a Western Australian MP, a Labor MP, that's just come across, Brian Mitchell. So there's actually 27. So let's hear it for those 27. Approximately 12.5% of our federal parliamentarians. And although that sounds pathetic, it's not as pathetic as the British Houses of Parliament, where there are 14 out of 627, I think it is. It's approximately 2% of their lily-livered parliamentarians that have come out in support of Julian Assange and come out in support of the Westminster legal system that is being trashed currently.
Thank you. And this is free Assange, free ourselves. Soon we will see if our power is great, if truth will conquer the lies of the state. There's a way to kill someone. You kill them in jail. You try for their spirit, but sometimes you fail. Seclusion is good if all's in alignment. I'd put money on solitary confinement. But the prisoners in Belmarsh, they know the score. More decency there than the whole of the law. An African choir sings outside the walls. The rain and the wind, it comes down in squalls. They sing for survival, they sing for our fight. They sing with their hearts fully in flight. Who is on trial? I don't think it's Assange, but people who think they're now out of range. The ones who ordered the wars, the invasions, and who can dodge justice by attack and evasion. There's Bush and there's Blair and Howard to boot. They can't be crims in their nice business suits, but they are with their propaganda, their spin and their rorts. I would love to see them in the Nuremberg courts. And there's one other person who should really be there. I say Rupert Murdoch, I'd better beware. But Julian Assange must now be released, must be freed from the heart of the empire beast. But what shames us all is Australia's inaction. All Australians should be here, more than this noble fraction. Free Julian Assange, free Julian Assange. We cannot sit by like a soggy blancmange. They want him locked up, they can easily see that if he's let out, then we all will be free. But he will be, that must be his fate. Together we'll conquer the lies of the state. Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
John Shipton's here, all the way from Victoria. He's travelling on the home run for Julian. Next stop, Parliament House. I urge any of you with a vehicle to join the cavalcade and join the protest down in Canberra. With no further ado, here's John to have a few words. Thank you, John.
Gee, it's good to see you all rolling up yet again and continuing the fight, taking the task on your shoulders. Just a couple of things. You know, now we have 24 MPs in the federal parliaments in the Assange group. This indicates that they're good parliamentarians and also that they have their ear to the ground and hear the voice of their constituents. And that's our voice. So that our parliament has, I think the Assange group is one of the largest, 24. It indicates that there's an upwelling of sentiment towards Julian Assange in Australia. We were the first. Australia was the first cross-party group to support Julian. Then there's a cross-party group in Germany. They were the second. 29 cities prior to COVID each week had a vigil for Julian Assange on Wednesdays. It was just a wonderful event. We went to the Bundestag. There are maybe 2,000 people there chanting "Free Julian Assange." In England, they chant, what do they chant there? No extradition, the only right decision. So they chant that outside Belmarsh. In the UK, there's a cross-party group. So in Spain, in Italy, and just yesterday, day before yesterday, in the Dial, the Irish Parliament, the Sinn Féin, that's a large party, proposed that the government go to the United States ambassador and to the ambassador for the UK and insist that this persecution stop. So we're not by ourselves. We are an upwelling of enthusiastic support for Julian, and consequently, we are winning. We are winning, you and I. So that's the thrust of power is from us, nowhere else. It's not rain coming down. It's our strength rising up, and we carry those that represent us on our shoulders. We uplift them to the fight. So thank you very much. Cheers, and hope to see you next week.
Jacob Gretsch would like to have a quick word before the home run for Julian heads off. They've had quite a busy schedule over the last week or so, travelling from Victoria, travelling from Melbourne up through Victoria and up through southern New South Wales, through the Blue Mountains, and they're heading down to Canberra tomorrow if you'd like to join them. Anyway, here's Jacob to have a few words before they leave.
Okay, thanks everyone for being here, and thanks for giving us the opportunity for John and I and some of the others earlier on today to have a few words. First of all, I want to acknowledge we're standing on land of the Gadigal people, land which has never been ceded, and acknowledge their sovereignty, not as the traditional owners of the land, but as the owners of the land. And I've been asked by elders down in my country, down in Wiradjuri country, to give their greetings to the people up here from Wurundjeri country down in Victoria. And I think it's important because what we're talking about today is the truth and the lies. And we're talking about lies. It's important to acknowledge the Indigenous people in this country, because you must always remember the first lie that was perpetrated on this country was the founding of, and that was the lie of terra nullius. And that lie has continued for more than 200 years. So is it no wonder that we have a government, not just this government, but government of both persuasions through the 200 years, through the 100 years of federation, 120 years, that lying about the Great White Fleet coming here, lying about troop movements in places like Vietnam, Korea, lying about the need to send troops to the First World War, lying about the reasons for conscription in 1914, all the way lies, straight from that first lie of terra nullius, right up to the lie perpetrated in Parliament this week by the cover-ups in Linda Reynolds' office, Scott Morrison's office, Christian Porter's office. So when they talk about Julian needing to face the music, when they talk about Australian values, let's say we don't want none of their Australian values that are built on lies, Australian values that are nothing but bullshit. We want to create a new Australian value, a new Australian paradigm, one that recognises all people and the Indigenous people of this country and honours the truth tellers, honours the journalists, honours the musicians and the poets, and honours the people, and not use information as a commodity to stop the lies that are perpetrated to us every day on each one of us to more and lesser degrees. So we ask one thing, we've been asking one major thing in every town we've stepped at the Home Run for Julian tour, and we're going to continue asking it. And we're about to announce another tour in another part of the country. Keep tuned for that. And one thing we're asking is for all of you, every last one of you, not tomorrow, not Sunday, not next week, but tonight, when you go home, book into wikileaks.org. Type in the search engine. It's an easy site to use. It's a website that was built by the best computer minds in the country. It's easy to use. Type in the name of your favourite politician from anywhere. Type in the name of your favourite corporation. Type in the name of your favourite military and find out the truth. Because one thing, when we bring Julian home, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when we bring the bugger home, we want to bring him to a place where he can see that his work was not in vain, where his supporters are educated, where they know the truth and they let the truth set them free. Thank you all.
We've got Billy Field here, and Billy's going to play a song or two for you.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming along. We're all here for a very simple reason. We want to see some semblance of common sense and justice for an Australian journalist who hasn't committed any crimes. In fact, he's revealed the crimes of public servants and public officials, and we've been for a long time trying to engage politicians because he's been held up by politicians, not by the legal system. There's been propaganda about him saying he's a rapist. That's all been disproved totally. It's a fraud to smear him. And I'm going to do a song. It was a big hit for me a long while ago. I don't know if I can work on all this equipment, but I'll give it a go. Standing on the outside, I don't know where I'm going to, but I do know just one thing. It's on the way. I knew how to think could go wrong. I was crying in the man with dreams I should so perfect in this country. Could be so perfect. We can leave the world. Justice, humanity. It can't be perfect in this world. Australia, we all stand up against crimes, politicians at law, kill, murdering the thousands, in the millions. We have to stop this madness. Well, I don't know why to, but I know just one thing, that is successful. Tell us the truth. Can't you see? Yeah, I'm better than you. If we went through this world could see, he's entirely innocent. Oh, you ain't in love with him. You wanna know? I said, you wanna know? You wanna know? You wanna love everything.
Thanks, Billy. Thank you. Let's hear it for Karualpa.
Special effects. special effects and everything. It's great, isn't it? Okay, we're just going to play one more song, and we're going to be singing on this one as well. Yeah, this song is called Candombe para José. Hey, Valentina. Yeah, this is a dancing song, so if you want to dance, go for it. nice, isn't it? Thank you very much. And we're here for Julian Assange and for his fight, and the fight for everybody for his freedom. Yeah, free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Okay, we're gonna play the first song we play when it got raining. It started raining. We're gonna play it again. Secondo passo.
Otra tormenta.
typical song from El Salvador. So thank you very much. Let's go home now. Vamos.
Thank you.
Julian Assange. Free!
Hello? Latino for Julian Assange. Yo lo pagué acá. Este es tuyo, ¿no? Ponelo por separado.